how to protect your income in Canada with disability and critical illness insurance. So what would happen to your savings, your retirement plan, and your finances in general if you were sick or injured tomorrow and couldn't work? How long could you cover your mortgage, your groceries, your bills without a paycheck? Well, for most Canadians, the answer is not very long. And that's why your ability to earn an income is the single most valuable asset and needs to be protected. Hi, my name is Laurent Munier, and I'm a partner and advisor here at Safe Pacific Financial. And if you're new here, welcome. If you've been with us before, welcome back. At Safe Pacific, we help Canadian business owners, professionals, and families to grow their wealth, to protect their wealth, and to transfer it with smart, tax-efficient insurance and investment strategies. And in today's video, we're talking about something very essential that too many people ignore: disability insurance and critical illness insurance, especially here in Canada. So why is your income your most valuable asset? Well, it's simple. Without income, your financial plan doesn't work. Your income covers your day-to-day living expenses, your mortgage, your savings, your investments, food, restaurants, car, everything. If something happened to you and you couldn't work due to illness or injury, how do you replace your paycheck? Well, this is where disability insurance and critical illness insurance come in. Now, before we get all the way into this video, it is kind of crazy that in our industry, not a lot of advisors sell disability and critical illness insurance. It is way undersold in Canada. And the reason for this, I think, is that it's more difficult to set up. There's more moving parts. It takes more explanation of how it works than life insurance does. And the biggest one, disability and critical illness insurance, are the most claimed. So they're actually the most amount of work for the advisor. And that's why a lot of advisors don't know about and don't present disability or critical illness insurance as a solution for clients. And I think that's a huge mistake. Now, what is disability insurance? Well, it pays you a monthly tax-free benefit if you can't work due to injury or illness. And it doesn't have to be a workplace injury. It could be a car accident, skiing accident, long-term illness like cancer or chronic pain. But it's really important that if you get disability insurance, you know the type of coverage that you have. And there's 3 levels. So first level is the best. It's called own occupation. So this is the best kind of disability insurance, and you should generally get it if you can qualify for it. Not all professions qualify for it. Not everyone can get own occupation, but this coverage continues to pay you a monthly benefit if you can't do exactly your job, even if you could go back and do another job. So this is usually reserved for high education, white-collar jobs like doctor, dentist, lawyer, other types of professionals. Next, you have regular occupation. This is the most common kind, and it pays a monthly benefit if you can't work in a similar job with similar responsibilities and similar pay. So maybe you can't do your exact job again, but you could do something close to it, and the insurance company will want you to go and do that. This is really common with most professionals or mid to high income occupations. And then you have the third version, which is any occupation. So this one will pay you until you can go and do any other type of job, regardless of what the other type of jobs. So it is the least favorable, but sometimes it's all that you could qualify for. So we will always try to get you the highest level of protection based on your occupation. And we also always recommend the policies go until age 65, which is your traditional retirement age here in Canada. Now, the amount of disability coverage that you can get is also limited by your income. So the monthly disability benefit is generally around 66% of what you were earning before. Because disability pays out tax-free, this lines up to kind of what your monthly income was before you were on disability. Also, the insurance company will never pay you more in disability than when you were working, because then there's no incentive to get better and go back to work, right? The insurance company doesn't want to pay you forever. They want you to go back to work. Now, what is critical illness insurance? Critical illness pays a lump sum tax-free if you're diagnosed with a major illness, usually things like cancer, stroke, heart attack, multiple sclerosis, and other things. Different insurance companies have different things that they cover, but there's generally a list of around 25 terrible things that you don't want to get that are covered. So the money from a critical illness payout can be used for anything you want: medical expenses, travel accommodations, time off work, mortgage payments. Even if you want to take a vacation to reset and to de-stress. We've paid out claims to people as young as 36 years old on this. So these things can happen when you least expect them, and they can happen to anybody. Now, we get this all the time. What if you have benefits through work? And that is a great question. Many Canadians have disability or critical illness through their group plan. They have a group benefits plan at work, but there are some gaps that you need to be aware of. So now, on disability insurance, most group plans only pay for 2 years. Also, your group plan ends if you leave your job. And then also, you can only get whatever terms that the employer gives you. You can't pick your own group plan. So that's why we often set up individual coverage outside of your group plan. So we would set this policy up for you to coordinate with your employer plan. And then as for critical illness insurance, most employer plans cover usually like $25,000 or $50,000, which in our opinion is totally not enough, right? It's better than zero, but most Canadians need more than $25,000 if they get something like cancer or a stroke, right? With critical illness insurance, the amount that you can get is not limited by your income like it is with disability. You can get whatever coverage amount that you think is appropriate as long as the insurance company is going to cover you for that amount. An easy rule of thumb that we use is replace 2 years of income. So for example, if you make $100,000 a year, then we would say get $200,000 of critical illness insurance. So many Canadians think that everything medical is covered by our healthcare system, and that is not necessarily true. So if you know somebody who's ever had cancer, ask them how much it cost. Provincial health plans don't cover everything, like alternative treatments or special diet food that you need, or flying family to come in and take care of you, or, $40 parking at the hospital. These kind of bills add up. Plus, if you're undergoing cancer treatment or you had a stroke, you're probably not working, so your income is stopped, and you still need to pay your regular bills, your rent, your mortgage. You need to take care of kids. You need to pay for your internet or for your other insurance or your car. The stats on critical illness insurance are pretty crazy. So in Canada, it's like a 40-50% chance that you're going to get one of these critical illnesses like cancer, stroke, heart attack sometime during your working life. If you walked into a casino and there was a game where you had a 40 or 50% chance to win, would you play that game, right? Critical illness is like that. It's a pretty high chance that it's going to pay out sometime in your life. Now, why do you want to set this up now and not later? The best time to apply for disability and critical illness insurance is when you're as young as possible and as healthy as possible. The rates are lower and you're more likely to be approved. If you have a health change, it becomes way harder or potentially impossible to qualify for disability and critical illness. So locking in coverage early is one of the smartest financial decisions that you can make. Some final thoughts, right? Protect your paycheck, protect your future. That's what we've been talking about, right? You insure your home, you insure your car, you probably have insurance on your phone. Why don't you insure your income? This is the thing that pays for all of those other things. When we set up insurance plans for our clients, we make sure they're fully protected. And that means disability insurance, critical illness insurance, and life insurance. That's a well-rounded plan that covers you for most of the things that can physically happen to your body. We do this to get you the right coverage from the right insurance company based on your occupation and based on your budget. Now, if you want to talk to someone reputable and trustworthy about setting up your insurance plan, we're happy to talk. To do that, go to our website, safepacific.com, and there's lots of links there where you can contact us or book directly in our calendar and set up a discovery meeting. I'll also make sure that there's a link below this video that you can click directly to set up a time to meet and get your life insurance sorted out, and we can cross that off your to-do list. Now, hey, before you go, if you got value from today's video, please do all those things that the algorithm likes. So that means click like, click the subscribe button. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and we will reply. That's it for today. Thanks a lot for watching. I will see you next time.